Alright, Deck Tech with Obosh Burn, and we're playing the Galvanic Blast version. Um, I don't think, how can I say, let's see how we do, but we have to remember sometimes there is variance, and win or lose, it may or may not always be necessarily because of the Galvanic Blast, as opposed to the other cards, but I think that, I think this card definitely has a home here. We've got a lot of artifacts, and yeah. What can I say? I like the suite we have. We basically have I mean the concept is basically Urza Saga burn, and one of the main reasons I feel like this works is because Urza Saga incentivizes us to play all these 1-mana artifacts, but they can also be cast off of Urza Saga, which mitigates one of the big disadvantages of playing a colorless source in a burn deck, which is most of your spells cost 1 red. But yeah, and burn is a little bit. This deck borderline doesn't feel like a burn deck, but this is more like an aggro Saga sort of deck rather than a more mid-rangey Saga deck. And you can see that because of the Monastery Swiftspears, which synergize well with the Experimental Synthesizers, and the Ragavans, which actually are pretty much common to most of them. And yeah, and no Seasoned Pyromancer. I think Seasoned Pyromancer is the hallmark of red mid-range, and here, of course, we're not playing that. We pretty much have to play, oh yeah, and Experimental Frenzy is obviously just nuts in this deck, where the only 2-mana costing card is a Bone Crusher Giant. That means pretty much as long as you play this starting on turn 2, as long as you have a untapped red source, you're basically guaranteed to either hit a land or a 1-drop off of it. So guaranteed card advantage, basically, and it just grinds more card advantage. It's just a match made in heaven for this deck, and it also juices your Saga tokens, and of course, like I said before, it gives prowess triggers to the Swiftspear. We pretty much have to play Shattering Spree because Chalice beats us so hard. But the cool thing about Shattering Spree is no matter how many Chalices they play, and no matter how many counter spells they have up, unless they have like Mindbreak Trap or something, and if we don't play 3 spells a turn, if they have 4 mana untapped, which I don't think anybody plays Mindbreak Trap in Modern. Then again, who thought anybody would be playing, oh, I don't know, Bomat Courier in Modern? I mean, it does see some play, but yeah. Mages of the Moon, Mages of the Moon I feel like is the most justifiable moon effect that we can play with Urza Saga. It's a little iffy because obviously, it does kill our own Saga, but see, I think if we're gonna play, I think first of all, I could play something like oh, I don't know, Alpine Moon, but the problem with Alpine Moon is it doesn't actually hit everything, which means it basically does jack against Amulet Titan. And I like to at least have some kind of game against Amulet Titan, even though it's not like sticking 4 Mages in the sideboard makes us like swing as the matchup or anything, but it does probably make us go from like like a 5%, only 5% chance to win to maybe like 35% or 40 or something, I don't know. Not favored, but solid possibility maybe. But another thing about Magus is that it also attacks and blocks, and that can really come up where, especially when we're trying to be aggressive, because sometimes, especially if they play Chalice or something, being able to just stick a Magus and hopefully putting an Obosh to hand playing it can be pretty, you can sometimes just get there with like Magus beats. And Blast Zone is a pretty good card in its own right. It's good against Hammer Time and Death Shadow, but it's also, just kind of a good card. I mean, we play so many 1-drops that this is definitely a little more niche than in one of our mid-range decks where we don't play many 1-drops, but still very solid card. It deals with like enchantments and artifacts and stuff too. Also good against, of course, hardened scales. You don't see that as much. But the other cool thing about Blast Zone is it also is a good alternative card to swap out Urza Saga for when you're bringing in Magus. If for whatever reason Urza Saga is not at its best in a matchup, and like in matchups where Urza Saga basically can run away with the game, sometimes it's correct to leave in Urza Saga and not bring in the Blast Zones and still bring in the Magus, because the theory is that actually I think the bigger litmus test isn't necessarily how good Urza Saga is in the matchup, but that is a part of the test. But I think a bigger factor of the test is is does Magus auto win? Because if Magus auto wins and Urza Saga can is very good and can run away with the game by itself, then you kind of put them in a situation where, for example, you could even on turn 3 tap Urza Saga and 2 other lands, play Magus of the Moon, and then they either, let's say, can counter it, or if they don't, Urza Saga can start cranking out tokens. So you're sure the Urza Saga token blows up when the Magus lands, but if Magus is a knockout type of card, then sometimes it's worth it. But in some matchups where that's not necessarily the case, like for example, Hammer Time is a good example. Urza Saga is both not necessarily an auto-win type card, Blaststone is just better in its own right, and Blaststone also doesn't get blown up when you play your Magus, which you may have to do to kill their Urza Sagas. I know that's another thing I like about Magus over Blood Moon, I forgot to explain, but yeah, Magus, you can also kill your own Magus to turn on either your Urza Sagas or your Blaststones. Or you can just block with it, or chump attack, or something. Like, you have a little more flexibility in being able to turn back on your utility lands. Pithing Needle and Shadow Spear, some more Silver Bullets in the sideboard. Not necessary to play in the main deck, in my opinion. Because Shadow Spear is really only useful against Burn and certain other hyper-aggressive decks, which you don't necessarily see that much. So mostly in the meta, just against Burn. Not necessarily exclusively, but mostly. And then Pithing Needle is definitely more widely available, but I think there's a good reason most people play it on the sideboard, is that there is a good chunk of matchups where it doesn't really do anything, and on these 12 other 1-drops are good in a wider swath of matchups, and B, like Relic, for example, even when Relic's not at its best, you can still cycle it, and it just juices the tokens before then. Of course, these always juice up the tokens, but they can juice up the tokens, and then if you don't need it or just need to draw into a burn spell, you can crack it and cycle it. So all in all, I think this is pretty good. Let's get to the games and see how it goes. All right, hope you all enjoy what's coming up. Alrighty, match 1. Let's see how it goes. Not the absolute perfect hand, but I'm not going to complain. This may not necessarily get Metalcraft anytime soon. Some hands are like that. This is not necessarily perfect, but the fact that it's 2 damage and potentially 4 damage later on is a pretty big game. Let's see. Looks like it's Yawgmoth, and there's not that much that costs literally 3, but there's 2 things, Grist and Yawgmoth itself, that reward me for waiting until I can get Metalcraft for 4, so we'll see. Okay, I think that's a stomp target if I've ever seen one. I could have just played Saga right there, but I'm probably going to want to play Saga and then Bone Crusher. Dang it. Alright, well, maybe we'll... Maybe I want to play Double Swiftspear. Now, let's just do this. If they sacrifice Grist, we can probably kill it on the backswing with Swiftspear. This is a very tempting Grist target, and I think it's probably worth sacrificing it. Oh, well, yeah, that was a pretty good Grist sack, but at least we can finish it off with Galv Blast. Let's see. I probably am going to want to kill Grist, yeah. I do have access to a pretty good amount of burn against this deck, so I think I'm not in super bad shape. Another grist? Yeah. I might be able to kill it though. There was no point in dashing Ragavan there. I should have just played the Swiftspear. Oh well. Dang it, never ending grists. Yeah, I call BS on this. Somehow they know that I don't have a burn spell. Not BS that they're cheating, just BS that they got lucky. I wouldn't have blocked there if I were them. And of course they've got Yawgmoth. See if they sacrifice something else. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see. If we can finish Grist off next turn with Pyrite Spellbomb. You can just draw the combo right now. Might be getting a little reckless with their life total, but we'll see. On one hand, we like to keep the coast mostly clear of creatures, so Yawgmoth can't do too much damage, but once Yawgmoth hits the table, we have to kind of prioritize dealing with it because it's just kind of, especially if we have something on the battlefield, but either way, it's just kind of too disadvantageous to go after their creatures. But getting Grist off the table, though, at least it does minimize how much damage Yawgmoth can do too, so we'll see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just getting 2 pieces though may not be enough, because 8 is not exactly the most crazy high life total. Oh, unless they get okay, but that alone is not the combo. Although it does admittedly allow them to kill my creatures without having to lose life. But maybe their board presence gets shrunk. Well, I'll present this, because why not? That's fine. That was a mistake. Alright, I might lose this one. I'm sorry, folks. I brain farted for a second and didn't realize that I didn't have enough cards, but we'll see. I needed to keep this one. Yeah, I think we just misplayed. I'm sure they probably think they've got a unlosable matchup here, but I beg to differ. I think we need all 3 Ragavans. I don't think we really need to sideboard anything else. I think we've got a pretty good matchup here, actually. At least I've probably gone like 2 or 3-0 or something, but you know, maybe this will be my first loss in a while. Alright, let's see. Alright, well, seems keepable. Let's see here. Pithing Needle is very excellent in this matchup. If you name Yawgmoth, it clamps down on their on a lot of the power of the deck. They don't necessarily have like insane answers to Urza Saga either. They don't have like mood effects. Not much reason not to play this. Hopefully they don't play Young Wolf. If it's anything but Young Wolf, then this will probably connect. Okay. I think this is probably going to connect. You know, just on the off chance that that they play Dryad Arbor. Although honestly, I'll probably just let it Alright. You know, I'll probably just play Pithing Needle. They might just... Okay. Sometimes they yield and then... I'm naming Misty Rainforest. It feels a little bit cheesy, but I mean, they had time to think about it. This could be a mistake. They might have baited me into doing that. But, I mean, they could have cracked. 1 mana land destruction. This is probably the only Misty Rainforest in their deck. Well, I should have seen that one coming. At least this means my Urza Sagas can still do their thing. And they had to pitch a Quarter Calling. Let's do this. Unfortunately, I don't have Metalcraft. I guess I can pretend like... Alrighty. I'm probably going to get a Relic. Playing it safe, I can respect that. I'd love to attack, but there's nothing in it for me yet. And if they drop Yawgmoth, they could do a lot of damage before I can do anything here. They do need to drop another Black Source, though. Oh, there's their Black Source. Oh, no Yawgmoth. It's not too bad. Alrighty. Oh, I can go after Grist. That's always good. I'm going to attack. We'll see how they block. I probably should have attacked last turn, but we'll see. Oh yeah, because I didn't have Relic last turn. Gotta remember to play the Saga next turn. I mean, this turn. I'm perfectly fine with this. I should have played the Urza Saga first. Okay, now I have to sack a treasure token. That sucks, but I gotta do it. I really should have played this. Oof. Trying to be too clever for my own good. They can also remove Grist, so I gotta keep that in mind. I probably don't want to block the Ooze. I might go for a Hail Mary attack. We'll see. Yeah. I like this, and then I'll attack. These should be 5/5 starting to become 6/6s, but I'll take this. Fine by me. I wonder if they're going to eat this too. I'll probably have to zap the young wolf if Yawgmoth comes down, because it's a little too much value. But if not, I'll be happy to create another token. Yeah, it turned out that maybe they blew that Force of Vigor a little too early. So I tempted them, but turns out not so bad. Oh, I might want Shadow Spear. I'm going to take out one Ragavan for one Shadow Spear. Ragavan was good that game, but it's especially on the draw, it's very speculative. In fact, I could even add two Blast Zones potentially, but I've just got so many 1-drops that it's very speculative as a something I pump it up. And this isn't like Murktide where they kill most of my 1-drops anyway, other than Experimental Synthesizer, which gives me value sometimes when I crack Blast Zone anyway. Let's go see. Actually, I do have Spikefield Hazard. Because of that, I will keep. Hopefully I don't play a turn 1 mana dork. They play a turn 1 mana dork. Oh, well. Thankfully. So I'm going to take a risk here and I'm going to Galv Blast, because sometimes Spikefield Hazard I might want to play as a land, and also it can zap a Young Wolf, or a Strangleroot Geist. Yeah, I'm going to play Spikefield Hazard. I think I need to make my land drops. Alrighty. Well, I got the Relic, so it's not too bad. Oh, even better. I guess we'll do this. I could have played Experimental Frenzy, but if I drew a 1-drop that wasn't Spikefield Hazard, I probably wouldn't have wanted to play it. And Wolf, the youngest of wolves. That's fine, I can take my pick of which one I want to kill, and I might do that instead of making a token. I might kill the young wolf just to add more counters, we'll see. I think I'll do this time. You know, that's a little iffy, but see. Now that's getting a little too iffy. I could attack, but I kind of want to draw more cards. And this is why I can't just crack Relic just yet. Maybe it was a mistake to play this. Not bad. I can live with that. Yeah, I just can't. Not yet. We'll see. I just don't think their deck does that much without Yawgmoth. Here. All right, let's see. You know what? I'm going to do this. And I'm probably just going to sack it to draw a card. Cashing it out for 3 seems pretty good. That's odd. Part of me wants... Yeah, I gotta keep the Relic untapped, though. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'll just do this, for now at least. I want to get a token out there. Maybe that's wrong thinking, but we'll see. I'm not sure if they realize that I have the Pithing Needle here. Yeah. I just feel like it's a little too tempting to get more tokens. Yeah, I think Pyrite Spellbomb's got to be the jazz. Alrighty. Let's see. Let's see. Already. A good thing I got the Relic and the Pithing Needle. Ooh, Galvanic Blast. That seems pretty good. Don't mind if I do. Alrighty. Yeah, see what I mean? I'm really not that afraid of this matchup. Even though match one was a little disappointing. Like, I mean, game one was a little disappointing. Like, I mean, this is just generally kind of how it goes. All right. All right. Match two. Let's see here. Yep, and I will keep this. See, this hand would be kind of floody if this was just traditional burn, but because it's Saga burn, this hand can really kind of go nuts. But we'll see. It's not a guaranteed thing, but in my experience, it does pretty well. Alrighty. Let's see here. Ooh, this could get a little dicey though. So if they hit their if they hit Tron on curve, then that's just it for us. It's gonna stop it in a turn. Okay, so it's Eldrazi Tron. That's fine. Let's stop it. Yeah, I had a feeling they were gonna reveal a land. See, I'm a little concerned about Chalice, so I'm gonna do this. Also because it helps me draw more cards and juice up the Saga tokens. Alrighty. Yeah, a little bit worried about that, but you know, I still think I come out ahead here. Alrighty. We're gonna get another Eldrazi Temple, or are they gonna get Blast Zone? Oh, or mine. Mine is always nice too, I assume. That's fine, but I might be able to blitz him a bit here. Alrighty. I'm gonna get another Bomat. Should I play this? Oh, I'm gonna do this. Because I do need to hit my land drops. They are gonna get Tron next turn though. Uh-oh. It's big Willamog. Okay. I might be able to actually win through this though. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, but interestingly enough, still may not necessarily, I still may be able to get through this. That's lethal in and of itself, isn't it? Not bad, not bad, not bad. Alrighty. Well, Shattering Spree for sure. They have Chalice, and we're lucky they didn't get it. They do play Planeswalker, so Pithing Needle it is. And Magus of the Moon. Now, I think we're going to play Magus and Urza Saga, just because even though there's a little dyssynergy, I think Magus is good enough that we can afford to lose Saga if that happens. We don't really need Relic. Monastery Swiftspear is good, but man, Bomat Courier is good in this against this deck. Can't say it's as good as Ragavan. I guess I'd take out Lightning Bolt. I'll take out a Pyrite Spellbomb. At the end of the day, yeah, I probably only need 3. Let me see. Alrighty. Let's see here. If they drop if they drop Chalice, that could be ugh. Yeah, this Chalice. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it might be okay if Magus gets us there. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Good thing I've got Shattering Spree to kill both of those. Oh, never mind. Well, this... Well... I might have to, I might have to stomp this. As much as stomping this is not exactly appetizing, because they can just sack it, the reality is that this thing will kill Magus. I want them to put a counter on it, so I'm going to hopefully they don't dismember. Okay. Any... Uh-oh, Spaghetti. Okay, good, they don't have Karn. Hopefully Magus will get us there. That'd be pretty funny, wouldn't it? I do have Shattering Spree, but, you know, I have 4 of them, but not drawing them. Of course they're going to draw another Walking Ballista here. Or Chalice on 2? Okay, Walking Ballista. Well, hopefully I draw a... Dang it, man. I'm surprised I didn't just wait to let's see. Yeah, this is painful. They're looking for their answers. I'm looking for my answer. And one of my answers is just land. We'll see. It's fine. I mean, I'm playing Obosh, but I guess I can't stop now, so. I wish I could get a man after this before it dropped, but you know. I guess I'll just play this for 3, right? Alrighty. So this might actually do it. I never drew Shattering Spree. So I mean, I don't exactly feel the most lucky in this match either, but I definitely was more lucky than my opponent. Okay, match 3. Off to a solid start. And I'll keep on going. Keep it going now. Let's see how it goes. Alrighty. Let's see if I connect. Uh-oh, force negation? Okay. Alrighty. Oh no. I hate it when they just can play that and just immediately make it a 2/4. Let's see. Too many ledger shredders, man. I'm gonna have to just cycle this. Alrighty. I countered out. That's fine. Ah. Alrighty, let's see here. Let's see here. I'm fine to block with the Samurai token. I'm sure this is going to get countered. Well, I get surprised by new things all the time. Should I go for this? Ah, it's probably not going to work. They probably have on the okay. Maybe I get lucky here. I got kind of a slow hand. No Urza Sagas, but they seem to have a very limited hand too. Okay, well that was definitely good here. Already. Honestly, we're main boarded. There's really nothing else to play, I think. Alrighty. Alrighty. I will keep. I'm gonna do this. I like that also because it helps okay. I'm gonna do this. Sometimes I want to play Urza Saga as soon as possible, but I kind of like having a little extra mana to work with while I'm churning out tokens. I'm a little surprised that I mean, what do they have that they don't have removal or cheap counter magic? That's like most of their deck. I'm gonna try to kill this, because I mean, this is like as good of an opportunity as any, I think. Okay, good. Just because that thing's just very powerful. That's fine. Alrighty. I'm just worried that if they counter that, it's a little too dangerous. That's fine. I'm hoping out for another artifact, but you know, what can I do, right? Alrighty. I might have taken too much damage, man. I'm telling you right now. Because I've had a feeling they, oof. Yeah, man, I probably took too much damage here. I want a, experimental synthesizer. That'll be the best thing I could get, I think. Well, that works too, I guess. Surprised they didn't try to steal it, but I guess they have to kind of get going, right? Oops, that was a mistake. Maybe not. That's fine. I'm gonna just do this right now. I'm gonna cash it in for tokens. And gotta bring him down to 4. Unfortunately, that means I die to Ragavan or Bolt, but we'll see. If I draw a land, though. Okay. Yeah, I just took too much damage from, what's it called, because I decided to get greedy. That's a downside to Galvanic Blast there. Sometimes I die to a 3/3 Murktide. Although I didn't have to, I had plenty of them. Let's see here. Alrighty. I don't know about this. I don't think this is better because Relic is very alrighty. They may want to consider spell piercing. Because that's how influential Relic is on this matchup. Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty. If they have what's it called, unholy. If they draw unholy heat, I have an answer to that. But we'll see. Alright, well I can sacrifice both of these. Let's see. Hopefully they can't cast. Okay, good. Hopefully I get a card. Yes. Alrighty. Ready. Ready. I'm surprised that I can continue to draw cards here. I can deal with a 4/4 Murktide. I don't mind. That's fine. I think I'm going to do this here. I'm going to cash this in for 3 cards. I don't want to get greedy. Alrighty. The Murktide. Alright, let's see here. Man, I'm getting a little mana flooded here. So I guess I win if I survive 1 turn, but what are the odds I survive 1 turn? I could attack and then maybe force a block, but I might not even force a block because they might have a counter spell, and then I'm just double screwed. I guess I'll just force them to have counter spell. I don't know, man. Yeah, I want to go. I think I have to go for the win next turn, win or all in or nothing. I mean, there's only 1 card they can have that outright wins. Looks like they have it. All right, that's 4. We should have won that last game. Frickin'. Only problem is frickin' arrogant Murktide players think they have good a matchup against everything. Yeah, we'll show them just on another occasion. I mean, we normally beat them pretty good, but you know, it's not this time. All right, I'm gonna knock a little bit. Anybody there? Come on. I guess GLHF. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm going to try to maximize damage here. Nice. Ooh. Hopefully they don't put a card of the graveyard this turn. Because I might actually have lethal next turn. Solitude is a reanimation option. Hopefully I draw an untapped land. Oh man, so we might actually have lethal. Let's see. Let's do this, because we want to play around Spell Pierce with our most valuable burn spell. Okay. Now that's the burn side of the deck if I've ever seen one. Alrighty. I think Magus of the Moon actually can be good, and I think it's worth it to play both Magus and Urza Saga. All of these cards are pretty good. Bone Crusher Giant. Bone Crusher Giant might just be a little too mana intense, but what if they played Chalice? I guess Galvanic Blast is a little too iffy. Alrighty. Let's keep it. Alrighty. Dang it. Alright, let's see. Now I'm glad I have Magus, but it might not be enough, even if I drew. Archon. Dang it, man. If I draw a Lightning Bolt, then I think I'm good. Still have one more chance to draw a Lightning Bolt. I guess I still shouldn't give up just yet. Alrighty. I guess I have to do this, don't I? So hopefully they don't have a way to deal one last point of damage, because I'll take 8. I think I have to crack the Pyrite Spellbomb and hope and just pray they don't have I don't know. Pray they don't have anything. That would have been good if they didn't bounce that. I need a lightning bolt or bust. Dang it, man. I guess I can still draw. Oh, come on. Come on, please. Dang it, man. Ugh. Ugh. God, it's so annoying. I guess that was my fault for playing Urza Saga, which could be bounced. I might have been able to cobble together everything. Does this mean that I want Galvanic Blast instead of Bone Crusher Giant? Maybe. Yeah, you know what? But Bone Crusher Giant, yeah, no, maybe. Yeah, Bone Crusher Giant's just a little too unwieldy. Alright, well, if this isn't a keepable hand, I don't know what is. Any. Any. Alrighty. Alrighty. Let's see. Pithing Needle would probably be the worst case scenario. Or Stony Silence. Alrighty. I could play Ragavan, but I want to be able to sacrifice this. Alrighty. Alrighty. I'm not going to activate. Well, I guess I could. No, because yeah, actually, yeah, I do have lethal if this connects. It's only because this is lethal if it connects. That's the only reason. They don't actually draw a card off this, so I'm not sure what exactly this is doing. I feel ya. I feel the opponent. Sucks to lose in a BS way like this. Drew 2 relics. That's one relic is maybe dealable and maybe more realistic. You know, it's not to say that they were guaranteed to win, but you know. Okie dokie, match 5. Let's see. Hey, I will keep it. Not a bad one. Not bad, I think. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Alrighty. Let's see. Ooh. Hopefully this is not your traditional Tron, but I'm going to try to land Urza Saga, because I have to. Oh, it's mono blue Tron. All the more reason, I think, to just land Chalice right away. I want to land this up right away too. Alright, let's see. That's fine. I think we win the Urza Saga off. I do. Maybe I should have played maybe I should have played what's it called? A Pyrite Spellbomb, but yeah, but they're kind of pressured. Yeah, I don't know. They need to wipe the board, I think. Yeah. All right. Cool stuff. Now, see, this is the Magus for obvious reasons. I think Shattering Spree, because I'm pretty sure they play Chalice. I'd be very surprised if they don't. I'd be very surprised if they don't play some type of Planeswalkers. Okay. We want all the one-drop creatures. I don't think we need Relic. We might want to keep one just in case, but I don't know. I think Galvanic Blast is the most speculative. Yeah, Relic is good, but I have to imagine. Oh, maybe I don't need all of this. Yeah, let's just do this, yeah. 3 Pyrite Spellbomb is probably good. I'm going to keep this hand because turn 1 Pithing Needle might slow them down. Otherwise, I would have mulligan because I want a turn 1 creature. Well, let's see. There's no Spell Pierce. Okay. I'm going to play Lightning Bolt because they might have Chalice and I might have to get this out of my hand. Well, hopefully this lands. Alrighty. Let's go. We're gonna name Karn. One advantage too. Alrighty. I want to play Experimental Frenzy, but I can't afford to. Alrighty. Well, they're probably going to commit the Magus to memory. I should have played this. There's no real good reason not to. Well, they might want to do this at end of turn. That's the saving grace. No. Oh, okay. Okay. You know what? Why did I do this? I don't know. I don't know, people. I'm sorry about that. I apologize. I had no good reason to not just get 2 damage, but we'll see. Oof. I'm doing this first because if they put Magus on top, I can play the other experimental, whatever. Maybe I shouldn't have played them both out, we'll see. They have a payoff card. Oof. Not bad, not bad. That seemed a little weird. Hopefully they don't get another one. Is this lethal? I don't think it is. Oh, maybe it is. Oh, almost. Should I hit Expedition Map? I got a feeling Shattering Spree is going to be more valuable. Let's see here. They might be able to get Blast Zone, so maybe this was a mistake. No, I gotta be able to crack Bomat Courier. Ooh. I can beat through a Erlamog, that's for sure. Oh, but a Emrakul, the Promised End. Oh, dang it. That's the most difficult for me to deal with. Should I crack this or not to crack this? That is the question. No, I'm not going to crack it. Because the more I constrain their mana... Oh, I should have probably just tracked a treasure token, though. Should have just cracked the treasure token. If they can't deal with my Urza Saga, though, the Urza Saga is going to go fetch a Pyrite Spellbomb, and then I'm going to win. Damn it, they can deal with the Urza Saga. But it's going to deal with their Urza Saga too, and it might create two attackers. So yeah, I can definitely get I definitely agree with this one here. Do they play the Mages? They do. Okay, they don't. And attack with the Bone Crusher. What? Why would they not attack? I have no idea why they wouldn't attack. I mean, they might have repeal. But still, alright. Not bad. Alrighty. Good, 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 good. Good, 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 good. Okay, post league wrap up. Yeah, thoughts. I think the Golgari Yawgmoth matchup is very solid. The fact that we 2-0'd Eldrazi Tron, which is normally an almost unwinnable matchup, is definitely, and that's one of the things I really like about this, about these Urza Saga burn variants, is that these might actually be the better Saga variants. Although I'm not necessarily going to just give up on developing the more mid-range variants, but like the aggro element, man. Like for example, Eldrazi Tron, like it gives you certain flexibility. This really reminds me of some of the old Obosh prowess type lists I used to play, because they had this unique ability to either like out aggro, but also to kind of try to outgrind the game if the aggro wasn't getting there. And the more mid-rangey versions, I think, kind of became a necessity because everybody was playing Furies and their own season power managers, especially when Lurrus was banned and whatnot. And even when Lurrus wasn't banned, like, you know, trying to outgrind Lurrus a lot of times where you needed to be because the deck was so efficient, it could usually keep up with your aggression. So for a number of reasons, the way the format evolved, I I was incentivized to just go more straight mid range instead of going more prowess based. But what Urza Saga brings to the deck, because one of the things about Urza Saga, like before I started settling on Urza Saga as probably just the card I've always been looking for burn or aggressive type variants of these red decks, is I was messing around for a bit with Seasoned Pyromancer and burn decks, and it had a little bit of promise, but the problem is it had a certain tension with the aggression that like Urza Saga just doesn't have. The main reason why is because I never really wanted to play it on turn 3, where in theory it could also apply the most pressure, and that's because I never felt good ditching the burn spells. Because if I ditched the burn spells and I drew more lands, then I'd just lose on the spot, and I'd lose to my own card, no less. So I'd always try to like empty my burn spells, but then I'd draw like either more Seasoned Pyromancers, or it would just be kind of awkward on my mana. It just was not, honestly, like Reckless Impulse or just some kind of more draw spells might have been better, but of course if you have to take off time to draw more cards instead of just casting burn spells, then it kind of defeats the purpose of being a burn deck in the first place, and then you just think about just leaning more into the mid-range angle. So there was I just was struggling with building a deck that I felt had the ability to both kill quickly and take the opponents to the long game and win. I wanted a deck like that, and at first I was messing around with Seasoned Pyromancer, but it just wasn't getting there. Yeah, and then I forget what exactly made me think of playing Urza Saga and Burn, but one of the things I think was that I started I think what it was, if I remember correctly, is I think I added Swiftspear, which of course is in most burn decks, and I think I started thinking, well, maybe I'll play Experimental Synthesizer instead of yeah, that's what it was. I'm pretty sure the catalyst for what I started to think maybe I'll play Urza Saga and Burn is I thought about playing Experimental Synthesizer, because I'm like, well, almost all my cards are 1 mana anyway. Experimental Synthesizer has an advantage over Seasoned Pyromancer in that I pretty much want to play it early. I do generate card advantage. It's not 2 mana intensive, and if the game goes long, I could cash it in for a chump blocker, an additional burn spell, or whatever. So I thought, like, maybe your Experimental Synthesizer has merit. And I'm not even sure if I played a full league before. Once I put Experimental Synthesizer in there, that's what I'm like, suddenly Urza Saga looks a lot more appealing when I've got such a free artifact like there. And then I'm like, Bomat Courier could work in Burn. It has worked in some previous Burn variants I played. And then I'm like, Pyrite Spellbomb actually is a perfectly good main deckable burn spell that I've main decked in the past and prowess type other variants. And then, kind of like the Galvanic Blast, though, I got to give credit to. Let me make sure I get this get the correct player. And I think somebody else too, but I don't know if they deleted their comment or something. But I remember somebody else mentioning this, but since I can't see where. So, but I do know this person recommended it, Ray Kuseracha. Definitely thanks, Ray, for suggesting this, and thanks whoever else you were whose comment I can't find again for some reason on Twitter, but thank you as well for suggesting Galvanic Blast, because I feel like this was kind of the last piece of the puzzle in many ways. I mean, other versions with like Lava Spike and Rift Bolt were also getting 5-0 results, and of course I haven't got a 5-0 as of this recording technically with this build. But I feel like easily I could, as you could see. And I feel like Galvanic Blast still is probably preferable because it's better early on if we want to just clear creatures, and it still does massive damage potentially later on once we start getting more artifacts out. So I think this is pretty good. I tried some versions without Bone Crusher, but at the end of the day, Bone Crusher is just for 1 extra mana, which a lot of times we can use anyway with Urza Saga. It just gives the deck a lot more potential to grind. It just adds that extra angle. There are some circumstances where, just like for example Lava Spike would be better, but all in all, it's mostly because of being able to use this extra colorless mana in Stomp or in the Bone Crusher Giant itself. I just find that it kind of fits the deck a little better. And also, if you think about it, if we play something like Lava Spike, we literally only have 1-drops, and at a certain point, just completely straight up auto losing to Chalice, which I think happened once in one league where I was playing like Lava Spike. It's a little iffy. Not that this will single-handedly win the game for you, but it could actually. it definitely gives you a little more chance, even if they land a Chalice and you don't have Shattering Spear for whatever. And it's also just, since all the rest of our curve is one, playing one card that's both a 2, but that both fills the 2-drop slot and the 3-drop slot in our curve. There's worse things. I think this really fits this slot. Even though it's not necessarily a card you normally think of when you think of Burn, although I have played it in Burn in the past, and I think it's perfectly serviceable. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think this is, as of right now, unless they print some other card, with Galvanic Blast in place, I think this is. I don't think I'd want to change anything. The only question mark here is, should I maybe cut Ramunap Ruins for some number of Horizon lands? As we saw in like Murktide, there are some matchups where we flood out like mad, but the reality is Horizon lands, they don't necessarily. Horizon lands, they can be useful, but I honestly think Ramunap Ruins is better because like we don't necessarily have that many burn spells for a more aggro burnish type, prowessy type build, and I just really like the way Ramunap Ruins, it's kind of uncounterable reach, so you can it kind of makes them effectively at like 18 life, if you know what I mean. And you've got a pretty good chance of drawing one when you've got 4. And like if you've got enough time, it kind of makes him start the game effectively at like 16 or maybe even sometimes 14 life if you have enough time, depending on how many of these you draw. Point being is that I have, and we didn't see it in this league, but I've won a good amount of matches because Ramunap Ruins finishes the job, especially against control, where sometimes they stabilize. And yeah, actually that happened I think a few times against control decks where they can absolutely stabilize, especially without Seasoned Pyromancer, which is one of the all-stars against control decks, because even if they counter it, you can still get the tokens for a number of different reasons. Plus also if it resolves and you get 2 tokens, it's just a lot of bodies they have to Wrath, and you still get 2 more bodies even if they Wrath. Like there's a lot of reasons why Urza Saga, Seasoned Pyromancer is an all-star against control, and one of the reasons why I feel I have a positive matchup with the mid-range versions, despite the fact you'd think control would if it wasn't for Seasoned Pyromancer, I think Control would be actually a bad matchup for the mid-range version. Seasoned Pyromancer, I think, single-handedly. I mean, the Blood Moons help too, but make no mistake, you need a certain critical mass of knockout-type cards. And Seasoned Pyromancer is more of like a bunch of jabs rather than a knockout, but it's a bunch of jabs that nonetheless give you the decision win, if you know what I mean. But, see, without Seasoned Pyromancer, like, Ramunap Ruins has been super helpful. That I have won, I won maybe more than 2. Maybe I've won like maybe I've won almost all of the matches I've played against control, in large part because of Ramunap Ruins, because I was just trying to say, when you don't have Seasoned Pyromancer, you really have to win by being aggressive, and it can just be difficult to squeeze out exactly 20 damage, but when they effectively start the game at like 18, 16, or even 14 life, depending on how many of these you draw, and you certainly have the time a lot of times to draw into more of these against control, it's a lot more doable. Let me tell you, getting them down to 16 or 14. No, sorry, not getting them down to, but dealing 16 or 14 damage. And I would say 16 is a pretty good benchmark. I think you can expect to see about 2 of these per game if you against control on average. Maybe even somewhere between 2 and 3. The games can go pretty long, so I would say you could expect to see about 2 to 3 of these. And getting them to 4 or 6 life, it's a lot more doable than just straight up getting them to 20. And the fact is mostly uncounterable unless they play like Nimble Obstructionist, which I've actually been seeing more of lately, just a little bit here and there. But maybe who knows? Maybe it's those control players that didn't like losing Ramunap Ruins. But yeah, there are some answers, but they're not commonly played, and even if they are played, they have to have them. So, anyway, I've ranted on for a bit. In theory, there could be better sideboard cards printed. There could be some card that does what Mages of the Moon does, but like it's one-sided, which is really dumb. I really hope Wizards doesn't lose its mind like that. These cards have to be symmetrical, but if they print some type of moon effect that's one-sided and hits all the opponent's lands, well, that's probably going to replace Mages of the Moon. But otherwise, it's kind of hard to imagine much changing in the sideboard. It could, but like as of right now, all these cards, man, I like them. All right, anyway, so hope you all enjoyed. Sure took a while, but yeah, take care.